Hey guys, Tim Mubel here with TACCOM. We're going to go over my favorite subject, recoil systems. Basically, just assembly. I've had our original three-stage recoil system we've had out, oh my gosh, 4 or 5 years now. And every once in a while we get people, they give me a call or they send me an email. Do we have anything on video instructions? And well, I always thought it was pretty straightforward, but hey, let's go take a look at this. So you've got your lower receiver, 9mm. This happens to be a ARV lower. I have no buffer system in here, so we're going to install a buffer system. First, you have to determine, are you going to have a short stroke system or not? Once you determine that, when you get your package, you're going to see this little thing. This is a short stroke buffer. It's about 600 thousandths long. If you decide that you're going to use this, you put this in first. You just drop it down just like that. Okay, look at it, make sure it's in. Then you're going to drop your spring in. And what I always tell people then is you take your buffer, this is our, for this, drop that in, push it behind the detent pin. Now we're going to populate that. First thing, plunger, the long skinny plunger, that goes in. Then you put your spring in, and then you put your cap on top, and you push that past. Now you have your system in complete. So this would be assembly with a complete short stroke system. Now let's say, hey, you know what? I'm shooting okay, but gosh darn it, I'd like to have even less recoil. So, and I've got a short stroke system. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to replace this with the cushion. And I've got videos showing what this does. You've got a flat wire spring, a wave spring, about 1.5 inches long, and you've got an aluminum limiter. This is a spacer. This is 3/4 of an inch long. Essentially, this is going to be inside, and now you're going to have this much travel. It'll bottom out on this nose, and you'll never get, this spring will never collapse 100%. We basically engineered it. So we've got a short stroke system. We want a short stroke, so the first thing I do is I drop this in. By the way, do yourself a favor, get rid of that stinking detent pin. They suck. I just don't like them. Okay, so I drop that spring in first. Now I take my aluminum limiter, drop that in, make sure that it's upright. Then I take my spring again, put that in, take my buffer, throw that in. Now we're going to populate the buffer. There. Long plunger, spring, push that in. Now we take this, push that in over. I'm a fan of just using a regular AR-15 carbine recoil spring. Do not use a 308 spring. Anybody that tells you to use a 308 spring in 9mm, they're idiots. You don't need it. It's not required. It's going to only make your gun feel clunky. You put this spring in here, the carbine spring, you have the two cushions, basically one from the original buffer and then the response cushion. I'll tell you what, this is probably one of the smoothest systems you can buy on the cheap. Yeah, you can get better. I think our air cushion is a little bit faster and as soft. We've got a video comparing this exact system. The way I have this, I have this comparing against the Blitzkrieg 5015 heavy duty. Is that the number on it? They're identical. You know, in fact, some people say from a shooter standpoint, I didn't notice any difference. From a video standpoint, people are replying to me and saying, yeah, yours is a little better than the Blitzkrieg. I'm not here to debate that. From my shooting, it worked the same. So, do you have a short stroke bolt? Can you short stroke your bolt? If you have anybody else's bolt, 9mm bolt, you probably have a cocking ramp. And if you look at this right here, this is what I'm talking about. This is the cocking ramp. Okay, this is a TACCOM standard bolt. Now, some people, you can short stroke this bolt, but it's very, very 3/4 of an inch most, you know, depending on your trigger system, because you're limiting the delay time of a fully cocked hammer when you have a ramp like this. So what we did 3 years ago, we came out with our extreme short stroke bolt. And if you look at the extreme short stroke bolt, all we have here is a radius and it's flat. So if you compare that to the two, if you look at this one, this has a ramp. This one doesn't. This looks like a ramp, but that's not. If you look at it close, you'll see the ramp, and it goes to this surface, whereas this one has no ramp, and it cocks the hammer sooner and gives it cocks the hammer and gives the same dwell time on cocking the hammer as this, not short stroke. This bolt you can short stroke almost an inch. Well, I've short stroked it an inch. Now that's the one thing different. The other thing that's different is we have this little notch here, and that would be the actual orientation. Well, normally your bolt hold open goes to here on the front. That's where the bolt hold open interfaces. With the short stroke, with a Glock magazine lower, you can the bolt hold open interfaces on that notch there. That's why we cut it out. But one thing we did, and is the only time I'm probably gonna say it in ever, we have our standard bolt, new bolts are going to have just the radius. Basically, our standard bolts cock your hammer, give you more dwell time than any other bolt on the planet, except for our ESSB. We've taken the technology, we've taken the design that we did on our ESSB, and we incorporated it into our standard bolt. Now, obviously, if you short stroke a standard bolt, you don't have this notch midpoint, you're going to lose bolt hold open. Hey, I'm a competitor. I could care less about bolt hold open, especially in steel challenge, so it's not a big deal to me. In US PSA, oh yeah, you have the dreaded empty gun start, you still have to have the bolt closed. I mean, if you can't manipulate your bolt to put a safety chamber flag in, I don't know what to tell you. But this is going to be the bolt I'll be running actually for the rest of this year. But these are in stock and we're shipping them. So the standard bolt is basically now an extreme short stroke bolt without the notch. Interesting. Oh, one more thing I wanted to, before I leave. I did a video on my 22, the Tracker 22 with the mid-barrel brake. And someone said, I see an optics cleaning in your future. It's like, yeah, it looked like it could be. Here's the gun. I just haven't done anything with it. This is kind of cool. First off, this is the Hollow Sun Ames. I like to call it the mailbox of death because it's got, looks like a mailbox opening up. All right. So it's kind of cool. I like this sight because it's got the covers like that. I've never taken them down or anything like that. But when I got that video or that comment from somebody, I said, let's take a look at this. So this has a cover on the front, and the cover's always been down, but you may not be able to tell, but that cover is still clean. And I shot 100 rounds through this with the blast coming up, and you could see it coming this way. But yeah, am I gonna have to clean the optics? I don't know when, but I mean everybody cleans their optics, right? So yeah, I see an optics cleaning in my future. Is it gonna be any sooner than you? Maybe, maybe not. Hey, this is my new shirt. Well, it's not new, but new for the channel. Meals on Wheels, and it is a bear chasing. Yep, I like these. I'm gonna be getting more. You guys have a great day and a great weekend. Talk to you soon.